Welcome to another DMAR Real Estate Mastery session. And I'm here again with Sean Carpenter. Sorry, it's been an early morning. Realtor extraordinaire from Columbus, Ohio. Love your town, by the way. And realtor with Coldwell Banker out in those parts. Sean, you are going to talk about Operation Reach Out. I'm so intrigued by your acronyms. It's not even funny. But how you doing out there? You good?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I love what you're doing here for your members, these real estate mastery sessions, little nuggets, little teases of what you can be doing to sharpen the saw, so to speak, no matter what time of year it is, no matter where you're at in your real estate tenure. Always a great idea to come in and learn some nuggets, a dialogue, maybe an idea. And hopefully Operation Reach Out gives people a chance to sort of think about how they can get in front of their customers and clients, especially right now in this challenging market we're in, where it's hard to keep in touch when you're not supposed to be touching. And so this is a little way to think about your marketing plan, whether it's digital, whether it's social, whether it's through your company marketing or your personal marketing. Operation Reach Out, I think, is a way that you can do that. So no, but let's jump into it. Let's talk about Operation Reach Out. For those people taking notes out there, just write the word reach out down your page vertically. I'm going to give you a little idea, an acronym, a story, an example of what each of these things can do. Now, Nobu, here's the great thing about Operation Reach Out. Each one of them by themselves is a great message. When you put them all together, it's a nice little way for all the people out there, whether you're a team leader, whether you're a broker or an owner, to sort of say, does our marketing check off all these boxes? Because it should, really, if we're trying to really reach out to the biggest market possible and the most specific market possible. The R stands for relevance. Relevance. And you really have to think about this, guys. We need to stop thinking that one size fits all every time, right? That's the easy button for us to send out one thing to everybody in our list. But that may not be relevant to the people we're sending it to. When you think about relevance, people don't want generic. People don't want things that they can instantly tell are generic. No one's going to go into the liquor store and pick these out when they have a choice of getting Blanton's or Gilby's or something better, right? People don't want generic. Our clients aren't the same. So why would we think to send them all the same things? When you talk about being relevant with your clients, if you're marketing a 55 and older community and your direct mail list is specifically millennials, well, that's not relevant to them. If you're talking about maybe being a horse owner and you're sending something to first-time home buyers, probably not relevant, right? So let's think about who our clients are and understand that each client wants things delivered a little differently. There are many people out there that love to read their emails and do their work on a desktop or a laptop. There's a huge part of your marketplace that loves the touch and feel of a handwritten note, a brochure, a flyer, a catalog. They want to read a book versus looking at a book on Kindle. And how many of you guys consume everything on your phones, right? I bet today, since you've been watching this video, you've opened up your email and you've swiped things to the left because it wasn't relevant. You didn't even read it because as soon as you saw the subject line or the sender, it wasn't relevant to you right now. And guess who does that? Your customers and your clients do that as well. It's got to be a relevant message. So just once again, ask yourself, is this relevant? Yes. To who should be the follow-up question, and send the right thing. The E in Reach Out stands for everywhere. Everywhere. We've got to be where your customers are, which is literally everywhere. Nobu, since you and I have been in the business 20 years plus each, it's funny how you never knew where your next client was coming from. Now, I know you might have an appointment set up this evening to list a house or to meet with a buyer. I'm talking about the next client, the one you don't know about. It literally could happen this afternoon when you're filling up with gas. Somebody in the car next to you sees your logo on your shirt, they see your name tag, they see your wrap around your license plate, and they bring up real estate. It could happen literally the next text you get. Could be a friend of yours saying, I'm sending you the name of somebody that I work with who might need help. So we've got to be in lots of different places. We've got to try and have these, what I call frequent non-transaction based interactions with people. And guess what, Nobu? One of the best places that we can be everywhere is by being engaged on social media. We can have lots of little non-transaction based interactions on Facebook and on Instagram and on LinkedIn, and on Twitter, and even on Snapchat and TikTok. We can have these little conversations with people because that's what social media is, guys. It's two-way communication, right? It's me talking to you. And so if I can just keep having these conversations with people so that I can earn what I love to say is top of mind awareness. So the next time someone thinks about real estate, if they think about me, then I'm going to start winning this game the more times I get people to think about me. So I've got to start trying to be everywhere. Think about your marketing strategy, whether that's your digital marketing strategy, your print marketing strategy, your direct mail marketing strategy, your past client marketing strategy. What are all the different ways that you're going to get in front of people so that you can be everywhere? I'm not saying you need to be on all these places, but just understand with 1.4 million members of the National Association of Realtors, there is a realtor in all of these places. So how can you make sure that if one of your ideal customers or clients is in one of these places, that there's a good chance they might see you or think of you when they see these types of things? So once again, you can go all in on one, or you could hedge your bets and go on all of them, but your clients are everywhere. How are you going to make sure you're showing up in front of them in these different places? Once again, I want to emphasize, I'm not suggesting you say, I have to be everywhere. I just need to say where my clients are, I want to be, right? Same thing with fishermen. If you're looking for bluegills, you probably fish the rivers and streams. If you're looking for marlin and you're fishing the rivers and streams, you're not going to catch anything. So you want to be in the right spots with the right bait at the right time. The A stands for ask questions. And this is a big one for me, guys, but more importantly, listen to the ones people ask you. Because the questions people are constantly asking, you're going to get better answers for, so you can sound more professional, more prepared, right? You always want to be anticipating your customers and your clients' needs. So listen to the ones people are asking you. No, but here's an agent you might know. This is a great agent, a friend of mine named Shay Hata. Shay's an agent in Chicago, also now in Denver. But I love the fact that when Shay and Nobu were pregnant with their little baby, Oliver, she got asked all the time about her pregnancy, as most people are wont to do when they see a pregnant woman, especially a young pregnant woman. How's your pregnancy? When's the baby due? Are you having a boy or a girl? Do you know a name yet? Have you done the nursery yet? Right? All the questions you're constantly getting. Well, she got so many questions. She said, Sean, I just put a site on my website called Resources for Parents. Because people were asking me so many questions, I wanted to be able to provide answers. And so on her website, she created places to go in Chicago, where she was at the time, with classes and daycares and ideas. What a great idea to take a question someone asked that wasn't about real estate, but says, I've created a resource for you. Go here, because guess what? If I'm an expecting father in Chicago and I go to this site, I also might click on the view homes, see homes that are available. What's the value of my home, right? And here's someone I trust because we're going through the same thing together. Nobu, I loved what she did with that. Jump on here, because I got to think this was kind of a cool way for her to be proud as a future mom, but also help her community.
Well, I think the thing that was really kind of an interesting thing that happened with when Oliver was still, gestating, was that she realized really quickly that she had a large array of her clients, and her would-be clients all were in the same boat. So they were all having kids. They were all in the process of kind of researching all this. And the thing that I talked to my wife about, that and you have taken to heart too, is if you're going to do the work, you might as well put it someplace where you don't have to do the work again, right? She threw it online. It became a resource for her clients. But what's been cool about this is that all these people that she has posted on her site are now clients of hers as well, including her doula and a bunch of doctors and OB-GYNs. And so it's been an amazing kind of full circle resource to business to resource feedback loop, which has been awesome.
Yeah, I love the idea. Another one of our friends that does this really well is Michael Ackerman. Michael Ackerman's a fantastic broker out with Coldbanker Bain in Seattle, Washington. He listens to the questions people are asking. They're asking him. They're asking his fellow brokers. They're asking online. And he does video blogs answering those questions. He does it really simply. He just hits a button. He walks into the screen. He says, hey, everybody, it's Michael Ackerman with Coldbanker Bain. I heard a question the other day. He repeats the question and he gives an answer. But it's not a typed out stock answer. It's an answer from his heart, from his soul, from his experience in the business. And he's answering it to help the audience. But if the audience says, I really connect with this guy, I like his mannerism, I like his style, I like his passion, I like the way he dresses, whatever it might be, it could be a great opportunity. So when you talk about asking questions and listening to the ones people are asking you or asking online, then it's a great way for you to show your professionalism. It's a great way to show your expertise. It's a great way to show your knowledge, and it could lead to future business. Inquire about everything, guys. The best salespeople are the best question askers, bar none. Let me say that again. The best salespeople in any industry are the ones that ask the best questions. Because the more questions I ask, the less talking I do. The more questions I ask, the more listening I get to do. The more listening I get to do, I get to learn things that lead me to ask more questions to get more information so that I can help guide my clients to what is they want or need. The C in Operation Reach Out stands for content. Content. How can you be finding those micro moments? And Nobo, I think I might have to give you credit for this word micro moments. I think I might have heard it from you first. And it was a word that Google kind of created, right? Google kind of created this micro moments. And what are consumers doing in those micro moments? Let me talk to the people about what a micro moment used to be. A micro moment used to be when you were waiting in line at the grocery store for the person in front of you with 85 items and was writing a check, right? In those micro moments, you would pick up National Enquirer or People Magazine. A micro moment used to be in between the Rockies innings, you'd run to the fridge or the bathroom. A micro moment used to be when you're picking up your kids after school, you'd go out and talk to the other parents in the pickup line. Now in a micro moment, what do? We all grab our phones, right? We grab our phones because as this report talks about, people are more loyal in the moment, not to any particular brand, but finding the answers to their questions. And so people are going to grab their smartphones. And you know what they're going to do when they're in line at the grocery store? They're not going to pick up National Enquirer. They're going to go to sites like Realtor.com and they're going to dream. They're going to search for houses. They're going to look at pictures, because I can go when I'm in line at, in Aurora at the grocery store, and I'm going to go look at homes in Seattle or Savannah or Boston, right? I can just go look at houses, and I'm not going to go read a 6,000 word blog post. I'm going to dream a little bit. I'm going to go to sites like social media where I can look at pictures. I'm literally going to pull up my phone when I'm waiting for my kids to come out of school or waiting for the next inning to start. And I'm going to scroll through Instagram or TikTok because I don't have to read anything. I can just look at pictures. Click like, ooh, comment, click like, comment, follow, right? I can look at things that have videos and pictures. Guys, just a rule of thumb, visuals catch people's eyes. When you're scrolling through your Facebook today, notice how many posts you scroll right past if it's just words. If it's just words, you're going to go right past. So your content needs to be on point to reach out and grab the client's attention, to reach out and get yourself in the top of mind. So the next conversation they have when real estate comes up, if you're the next person that pops into their mind, there's a better chance to get that business or a referral for that opportunity. The H stands for humanize your business. Humanize your business. And this is where I get really passionate, going from real estate to relationships, because this is a relationship business. The house is just the widget that we happen to work with in our industry. It's about the people that live in the houses. And so when I talk about humanizing your business, Operation Reach Out, how do I make sure that people know it's me behind the brand? It's me behind the name. And so when you look about this, how can I be active in my community, in my church or synagogue or house of worship or temple? How can I be active and engaged in my neighborhoods, my local charities, my kids' schools, my country clubs, my barbershops and hair salons, my local gyms and my local pubs? Nobu, this is Facebook before Mark Zuckerberg was born. The great news for a lot of people watching this is old school still works. Being a human being and being in these places, an active participating member of all these places on your screens, and then also being able to do it new school on social media, right? And on video and on podcasts and on all these different opportunities. Being human is a great way for us to grow this business, because we don't always want to be on a script. That's one of the best things about real estate is it's different every day. The hard thing is it's different every day. And so we've got to have these scripts and dialogues in our heads, but we don't always have to be talking about business. Do you know anyone who wants to buy or sell a house? People are going to get turned off by that. We have to understand that most transactions aren't a one meeting, one time event. It's a long tail. There's a lot before the transaction. And hopefully, if we're good, there's even more after the transaction. The transaction part is actually the easiest part, right? Because that's when we get to do what we do. But it's the relationship that allows us to get future business and future referrals. Look about all these different ways you can touch base with someone. I think your database, right, should have your clients' names, address, phone numbers, work, cell, home, email, work, and home, spouse or partner's name, cell number, work number, email address, and work email address, kids' names, pets' names, because pets are part of people's families, where they went to college, where they work, the website for where they work, maybe their blog, their birthdays, their spouse or partner's birthdays, their kids' birthdays, their anniversary, and their social. If I have all this information about my customers and clients, I have so many reasons to talk to these people that have nothing to do with real estate. Don't you want more reasons to talk to people other than real estate? Because if the only reason I'm calling you, hey, Nobu, it's Sean again. Do you want to buy or sell a house this month? Okay, I'm going to call you in 30 more days. People are going to stop taking your call. They're going to go block that number because all he does is talk about real estate. But when I can talk about your pets and your kids and your college team won a big game, right, then I know I've got lots of reasons to earn that top of mind awareness. All right, let's keep going. O in Operation Reach Out stands for online and offline. Now, Nobu, full credit, I give this one to our friend Peter Brewer, a great real estate trainer and agent from Brisbane, Australia. He says, does your digital twin look just like you? He says it in a thick Australian accent, right? But guys, this is critical, especially right now, coming out of the time of COVID, where we've all been talking screen to screen with people, right? And digital to digital is when they finally meet you in real life. Are you the same person they were talking to for the last 3 years on Facebook? You know, Nobu, one of my favorite things I hear, and you probably hear this as well, when you travel around the country and you talk to the real estate audiences that we do, and someone comes up to meet you afterwards, your presentation, they say, gosh, you're just like you are on Facebook. I love that because I'm like, well, good, because I'm the same person on Facebook. I'm the same beer drinking, sports watching, fun guy online and offline. So if you act totally different on your social than you do in person, if you look totally different, that's why I think video is so good, right? Because it truly lets people see who you are. And when people get a chance to know who you are online and offline, they start having a lot of trust for the message you're telling, right? Boy, he's not just saying that because he's on TV. He's not just saying that here in front of us on the stage. That's who he really is, right? And so here's a homework assignment. If you're watching this, as soon as we're done, I want you to go on to Google and search your name and just see what comes up. Go on to Google and type in your brokerage name. Go into Google and type in your name plus the city you live in. Go on to type in your name plus the city plus the state. Because guess who does that? Every one of your clients does that before they meet with you, especially the ones that were referred to you. Because if they find out that your name is also the same name of a axe murderer, that might be a problem. They find out that your name is a name of somebody who got busted, selling meth. That could be a problem. So let's make sure we get ahead of that and make sure, oh, and by the way, some of you guys might have changed brokerages in the last few months. Let's make sure that your old brokerage still doesn't show up as the #1 site. Make sure people are finding you online are going to meet the same person offline and vice versa. Oh, I love you, Nobu. One of my favorites in Operation Reach Out is understanding. I want you to learn your customers' wants and needs and then educate them to the nth degree possible. Find ways that you can educate people on what it is they're looking for, right? Here's my friend Steve and Heather Ostrom, amazing real estate team out in Sacramento, California. On their website, they have a frequently asked questions and education page, right? So when they hear questions being asked, they can maybe give the answer, or they could say, Nobu, that's such a great question. I'm going to send you the link to our website and go to our frequently asked questions and education page where you can see the answers to that as well as many other questions. Because guess what, guys? If you're working with a first-time home buyer, they're going to ask you the same questions every first-time home buyer before has asked you. So anticipate that. If you're working with a first-time home seller, see, there's something our industry doesn't pay much attention to. We all pay attention to first-time home buyers, But all those first-time home buyers eventually are going to be first-time home sellers. And so they're going to ask questions like, do we have to be here for the showings? How do people get in the house? Will you be here for all the showings? Put those things together in a dialogue. Here's another friend of ours, Nobu, Joe Scott, who owns a small boutique brokerage in Boston, Massachusetts. Obviously, a big bustling city like Boston has lots of cool little neighborhoods. Well, you can go to any map and find out where Beacon Hill is versus Fenway. But do you know all about the little nooks and crannies, the dog parks and the places to park your cars and things like that? Well, on Joe's website, you can find those things and learn those things, right? Think about what are you doing to understand your clients' wants and needs. Here's an idea for those of you out there that are willing to take this idea. What if you used a tool like Instagram stories, right? And what if every, let's say, Thursday afternoon, you went on Instagram stories and said, hey guys, it's Sean Carpenter from XYZ Realty. Today I'm answering a buyer question. And my question comes from my friend Mike, who wants to know, is earnest money required here in Denver? That's a great question, Mike. And here's the answer. And what if over the next 5 or 6 little 15-second chapters of my story, I answered that question? And then I finished it with, so if you have any questions about buying or selling here in the Denver marketplace, direct message me or give me a call at 551-212. And then the rest of the week, I can share stories about my kids and my sports and the Nuggets winning and the Broncos coming close or whatever it might be, right? But you can share these things. And then every Thursday, though, people start to know that's the guy that gives real estate information. It doesn't have to come out all the time, but when you understand your clients' wants and needs and then educate them, great opportunity to become the realtor of choice when they think of that. And finally, Nobu, T is tell a story. Tell a story, because listen, guys, when your story and their story, meaning the clients, match, good things are going to happen, right? Nobu needs to tell people he's from Alaska, because all it takes is that one person from Alaska, and those words, ALASKA, is going to jump off the page for that person who's from Alaska as well, before anyone else who's not from Alaska is going to see it. If I talk about being a Florida Gator, people that are Florida Gators are going to see that before anyone else who's not a Florida Gator. When you can find that common ground in your story, in your marketing, in your message, people are going to be attracted to that. Greg Fisher, someone that both Nobu and I know, was an agent in Fort Worth, Texas. Then he was up in Seattle. Now he's in Bend, Oregon. He's a military brat. He and his family moved around a lot. He wrote a great blog post about being a military brat kind of sucks. But if you're a military brat, if you're constantly moving from city to city, you might want to work with someone who understands what that's like, to not really know who the local pizza shop is and to not really know where the local dry cleaners are, because you're not even thinking about that. You're coming in for a base and your family's going to need to find those things out. Another way that you might tell a good story is through your website. Kim and Chavi are the Seattle Divas in Seattle, Washington. And on their website, they do a great job of telling the story of who they are. Because look, I can read more and I can click on read more. And look, I can watch a video where I get the chance to see who they are. They each sort of do a little cameo testimonial. They get to see their personality and their passions and their enthusiasm. But I can also read about their likes and dislikes. And when I find those things and ways to tell a story, guys, telling a story is great. And here's the better part. If you can tell a good story and it's good enough and easy enough to remember that other people will tell it for you, then you can spend your time and effort taking care of your customers and clients and not having to find new clients because other people are out there telling the story for you. So Nobu, before you ask me some questions, let me share very quickly, what can we do now with Operation Reach Out to start putting our name out there, to actually start reaching out to our customers and clients? Because when I jumped back into the sales business after 13 or 14 years as our director of training here in Ohio, I quickly understood, and I tell agents this all the time, part of our job is we need to act like farmers. We need to put seeds in the ground every single day that could turn into business. We don't know if those seeds are going to turn into business tomorrow, next week, next month, or next year, but we know they're going to turn into business. So when I jumped back into the sales business, I needed to put my farmer hat on, and I created what I called the 4-H Club. Now, it's not what you think when you think of 4-H Club. 4-H Club for me is every day when I show up at the office. Pre-COVID was in my branch office. Post-COVID is down here in my basement home office in Columbus, Ohio. Every day I say, if I'm home, I got to put seeds in the ground. The first H is I do 5 handwritten notes. Every day, the first thing I do when I start my business, put my real estate hat on, is I do 5 handwritten notes. Nobu, because you know, and everybody watching this knows, when they check their mailbox today, if there's 10 things in there and one's a handwritten note, guarantee it, they're going to open that one up first. They're probably going to read it a second time and leave it on the counter. So I love sending handwritten notes. The second H is I run my hot sheet for my town. I don't run it for all of Columbus. I run it for my specific neighborhood, my town that I live in called Upper Arlington. And I see what new listings have hit the market, price changes in contracts and closings. And I'll look through it a second time to see if I know anybody that lives around those properties, 1 or 2 block radius, or maybe in the same subdivision. And if I do, I'll send them a text, maybe a phone call or an email just to say, hey, Nobu, just want to let you and Shay know there's a new listing in your neighborhood. I then go to Facebook. I send happy birthday messages to people who are having birthdays that day. And if they're close friends of mine, Nobu, as you know, I'll send them a video text message. And then I do my high fives. I'm already on Facebook. So I'm going to scroll over to my news feed. I'm going to like 5 people's posts. I'm going to comment on 5 people's posts. I'm going to jump onto Twitter, my favorite social network, and I'm going to comment or retweet on 5 people's tweets. I'm going to jump on Instagram and I'm going to comment on 5 people's posts or stories. And I'm going to send 5 random text messages to 5 friends in my phone. Could be a have an awesome day. Could be a funny GIF. Could be a meme. Could be a little video or a video message. And once I've done that, once I've put my seeds in the ground, then I go to Starbucks and I get my morning coffee. I go to Panera, Dunkin' Donuts, whatever, and I reward myself because if my day gets crazy now, at least I know I put seeds in the ground that could turn into fruit today, tomorrow, the next week, the next month. And so if you think about that, Nobu, Operation Reach Out, the 4-H Club, great way to get to where you want to be. My blog is carpscorner.net. People can connect with me on social media at Sean Carp on Twitter and Instagram, or find me anywhere good books are sold. And let me stop sharing. But let's have a conversation about Operation Reach Out, the 4-H Club, whatever you think your DMAR members need to know to have a great 2021.
Yeah, man, that's a little bonus there. I got Reach Out and 4-H Club.
Yeah, how about that? I threw that in.
You know what I love about the 4-H Club though, because people will look at that and go, "Oh, that seems kind of hokey." But you know what that actually is good time blocking. It's a good kind of like reset from maybe the your kind of days or the previous days drama. It's really good. It's a really good way to learn good habits that you really, really need right now to get beyond the kind of the sales ideology that folks have right now.
Yeah, but you said it seems kind of hokey. Here's what people tell me. It almost seems too easy.
Yeah.
Right. But if someone out there says, 2021, I'm going to get back in shape. I'm going to start losing weight. If you drink more water, if you drink less beer, and if you get on the treadmill once a day for maybe a mile or 2, you'll start losing weight. But that's almost too easy. So people want some fancy diet, or they want some, CrossFit exercise plan that they're not going to do. Or you could get up and write 5 handwritten notes. You could wish people happy birthdays. Think about this, Nobu. If I do those 5 handwritten notes, let's say 2 people on the hot sheet today, let's say I had 13 birthdays today on Facebook, and my high fives, which is 25 touches. 25 touches plus my others, that's 45 touches before 9 o'clock in the morning. Only 2 of those were even remotely about real estate. But what just happened in that 45 minutes to an hour that I did that? 45 people are going to get Sean Carpenter across the top of their mind in some form or fashion. If I do that 5 days a week, that's 235 top of mind awarenesses that I just got from people hoping that they might turn into business tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. But if the next time those people get asked a question about real estate, if they just got my handwritten note, if they just got my funny meme on a text that morning, if they just got a update about their house in the neighborhood, or someone says, hey, how much did the Smith's house sell for? Our realtor just called us and told us that it was $465. Why'd your realtor call you? He calls me about all the updates in the marketplace. Hey, would you tell him that my niece is getting ready to move back to town? Top of mind awareness.
Yeah. Yeah. The simplicity of the 4-H Club, of reaching out in general, is just, God, it's mind numbing. And you saw it on the training end. How many people didn't do that? Right. Right. One of the things that struck me about all the people that you talked about, so beyond my wife Shay, you have Chavy, you've got Kim, you've got
Joe Scott, Greg Fisher,
Greg, who is actually here right now. He's up in Weston, Maine. He's here.
That's right.
Denver. So yeah, he's probably watching this right now. What's up, bro? One of the things that struck me as another kind of common ground that they all have is authenticity, right? And another, you could have added that A to your A and Reach Out. I'm going to add that to a little A/B. in a time where it is really hard for people to get beyond their 1995 picture of them when they look good, right? What does authenticity mean now?
Well, I mean, it goes back to the first letter we talked about, relevancy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need to be one size fits all. I think that's the beauty of the internet age, right? I mean, Seth Godin talks about that. In years ago, if you were giving oboe lessons for left-handed people, nobody wanted that. But on the web, people can find left-handed oboe lessons, right? And when you can go really, really deep, right? And you don't have to go super wide to everybody. You don't need to be one size fits all. And so being authentic, Kim and Chavi are great examples. They don't want to serve everybody. They will work with anybody, but they want to find people in their tribe, right? They want to find people that are like them that they can serve. Their Yelp community supports each other, right? And same thing with Joe Scott, and same thing with Michael Ackerman and Scott Euler and Sharon Steele, and a lot of people that were kind of in that presentation, people that we've come to know. And the great thing is they're the same online and offline, right? Everything that in that Operation Reach Out is things that I just took from my real experiences, and they all check the box. And if I can do that and other people do that, so being authentic, once again, is that people are going to figure out when they meet you in person, they're going to quickly figure out you're not the same person that you said you were.
Totally. And that's the thing that it just strikes me as one of the things that people should be thinking about when it comes to business efficiencies is if somebody's inquiring with you after you spending all that time being authentic wherever you are, social media and whatnot, they're self-selecting. And the folks that don't want to work with you are like, peace out. I don't want to work with this person. People like Xavi and Kim come to mind immediately, right? Where they are unafraid to talk about their politics, they're unafraid to talk about who they represent as buyers and sellers and as people in this community. And these folks who are coming in are more inclined to work with you because they've selected you rather than the other way around.
Yeah. Yeah. And once again, it's showing people on your presentation, your marketing plan, your Operation Reach Out. Here's who I am. Here's what I do. Backing it up with testimonials, backing it up with, whether it's Rate My Agent or Zillow referrals, testimonials. And people are like, wow, this person seems real good at what they do.
Yeah.
And they get great reviews.
Yep. Lastly, I want to hit on the thing that you really pride yourself on. You've been talking about it for as long as I've known you. This idea about building relationships. We are a very transactional business, and whether or not people realize it or not, even the best agents I talk to are very transactional in the way they work. It takes a lot of effort to turn your business into relational. What's that first step to really go from this transactional, I just want to get deals closed, to relational, I want to help you for the rest of your life and everyone else is involved with you? What's that first step to go from one to the other in your mind?
I think truly caring, truly wanting to know about the other person, right? Not just saying, how are you, Nobu? Hoping you ask me how I am so I can tell you, not having an agenda in mind, coming from that. Building a relationship for me is awesome, so that I can help people solve problems, whether they're real estate related or not. And if I can have fun doing it, then it's kind of that circle, right? A lot of people might meet me having fun. If I can build a relationship while we're doing that, then eventually I can solve some problems. And those three things for me are pretty critical. So once again, I think truly caring about the person that you're caring about versus what it's going to get for you, right? Those Zig Ziglar line, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And I think that's where the relationship begins. Look, Nobu, you and I both have people in our circle that have referred us business, speaking opportunities, job opportunities, real estate deals that have never actually been our client, right? And they may at some point be our client. We have other people that have been our client that we don't have as deep a relationship with, but it works both ways, right? And so I look at business on a bullseye, a target, right? And people on the outer ring are almost strangers. And the people in the middle, the bullseye, are the best people. They want my success almost as much as I want it myself. And so my relationships all build in the middle and work their way out. And my job is to be so good in the middle that I attract people into my business, not to go out on the strangers and push them into my business. Yeah. I want to attract people who want to work with me. So my best relationships, your best relationships, are in the center, and then you work your way out. So as you travel around the country now, but you got people that are in the middle of a target, but they're still not, on the edges, but they're also not in the center, right? And so for me, just, if I can create enough relationships, at some point in time, someone's going to say, Sean's the person that can help you.
No, man, it comes back full circle to that authenticity thing that we talked about. Carpscorner.net, right?
Carpscorner.net. You can find me on all the socials. Sean Carpenter, Sean Carp on Twitter and Instagram. Sean M Carpenter on Facebook. And hopefully, Nobu, in 2021, we'll get to see you guys in person out there at DMAR. Denver is one of my favorite cities to come out to. Got a lot of good friends out there. So reach out to me digitally, or we'll see you in person out there in the new year.
Heck yeah, bring your golf clubs too, man. We're gonna golf and beer it up. This has been another real estate mastery session for DMAR members. Thank you for joining us, Sean. Thank you for spending your morning with us during this Christmas season. Happy holidays to you, my friend.
Thanks, Nobu.